Florida law enforcement is urgently searching for a wanted fugitive, Billy Boynett Jr. Investigators believe he's responsible for 3 murders. He is at this point considered a person of interest in the killing of 2 women at a Florida hotel. Boynett is also wanted in the death of an Alabama woman. Authorities believe he has an accomplice with him. That person is named Mary Rice. They say both of them are very hard to track. A life-saving encounter near Gordon Pass when a family rescues 2 men and 3 children from a sinking boat. You can see the boat here overturned. The people were in the water. The Casaba family heard a mayday call. They were about to set their fishing lines, but they knew they had to help.
You might find a way to still feel right at home.
The news press is reporting that Ford's garage plans to open 50 locations across the country in the next 5 years. Owners say they're targeting areas with racing and auto ties. The new jobs report gave stocks a boost. The Dow is back over 20,000 after a week of ups and downs. The biggest gains were small company stocks, which stand to benefit from a pickup in the economy.
Chris, this boat is actually 1 foot larger than the boat those men took out fishing on Saturday. Now, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room here, especially imagine 4 large men on a boat this size. The sides are very low, which means when the waves kick up, a boat like this can be very dangerous.
We're following some breaking news right now just coming into the Wink newsroom. Let's take a look. It's downtown Fort Myers. Firefighters are responding to a structure fire call. This is at Calusa Harbor we're hearing. That's a retirement committee on First Street. Now this morning, the man investigators say is responsible for all of the damage you see here, especially right in this area to this fence at the Delano Wiggin State Park, is back on our streets this morning. We are cooking up something that looks fantastic.
Yes. This is a dish I call pasta puttanesca.
Puttanesca.
Nice. Very nice.
Well, as you know, Cal, I am culinarily challenged. I'd burn water.
Oh, come on.
But this is something we can make at home,
This
right?
is simple.
Car salesman says that since the ad went up, they have gotten offers from people willing to pay double the price for the car. No word yet as to whether the buyer is willing to sell that car back, but just proves a little honesty goes a long way.
Clearly does.
And I want to show you this. If you can follow me here, Donnie. You can tell that Fort Myers Beach is prepared for storms. Take a look at some of the signs that are written on the plywood over the windows. That one kind of speaks for itself on the way people here on Fort Myers Beach feel about hurricanes. They're not too happy about it, but they're not overly frightened either. They say that they've been here, done that, and they're just waiting to see what the outcome is and hopefully get back to normal.
Deputies say that he sexually assaulted a woman and bit her to mark the victim as his property. Could physical activity protect children from depression? Here to discuss a new article published in the journal Pediatrics is Dr. Annette St. Pierre McCool. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. McCool.
My pleasure.
Physical activity can make that big of a difference.
It can.
I'm standing here on top of the Lani Kai on Fort Myers Beach, and as you might be able to tell, the wind and the rain is really starting to pick up. It's really a sharp contrast from what it was just a few hours ago.
Having to take that international flight.
Well, now is your chance. The whole experience with music and dancing, food and beer coming right here to Southwest Florida. Where's Wink now? Wink News reporter John Treeweiler is joining us live with that answer. Good morning, Tree.
We hope to see you out here Saturday, guys.
Yeah, that's why John's having so much trouble. It's not getting lighter.
Maybe that's what it is. You know, it's hard to find somebody who has more practice with this than Tree, but he's found his match.
It's a taste of German.
Roger's
Cheers
the guy.
to you guys. Now, if you would take a look at your screen, I want to show you this satellite view of that severe storm system from space. You can see how it covers much of the southeast area. Very dense clouds covering the region. Officials are reporting dozens of injuries so far, but fortunately, so far, no deaths as of this morning. A 78-year-old woman says she is emotionally scarred after Cape Coral police bust in her front door and raid her home in the middle of the night. As it turns out, the SWAT team had the wrong address.
Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News. This morning.
Breaking news just into the newsroom. We are learning there is a hostage situation happening right now in Turkey. Media reports there say an armed man is holding staff hostage at a hospital. Now, at this point, the details are very limited into the Wink newsroom, but of course, count on us to stay on top of this and bring you every breaking update. Get ready to break out your beer stein and save plenty of room for schnitzel.
You can experience a taste of Germany without ever having to get on a plane.
Take a moment to look at your screen. All new this morning, a wild police chase caught on camera. Deputies say that 5 teens took this car. They forced a woman out of the vehicle in California. I'm going to take another look at that forecast. A cooler start to the morning.
But going to be really warm comparatively this afternoon.
President Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Neil Gorsuch, meets with lawmakers on Capitol Hill today, including Vice President Mike Pence and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Every day, millions of Americans shop around looking for the best deals out there. From coupons to sales, we seek out the cheapest deals and try to keep the most cash in our pockets. This man, J.D. Irons, is accused of hurting at least 2 Lee County deputies after a chase through backyards and even into a woman's sleeping home. This happened in the Dunbar neighborhood. Deputies say they eventually caught up with him hiding in the back seat of a man's car. This morning, take a look at your screen. This little guy is recovering. We're happy to report after wildlife experts rescued him from a ditch at Veterans and Orlando Boulevards in Port Charlotte. Animal Control rushed the bobcat to the Peace River Wildlife Center in Punta Gorda for around-the-clock care. You can see where he was transported there. The good news is he seems to be doing better this morning. New on Wink News, a 5-year-old will recover after terrifying hit-and-run caught on camera. A Texas driver plowed over the child. Thank you so much for joining us for Wink News this morning.
We hope you can make that switch with us over to WXCW. We are there from 7 to 10. Happens in only about 10 seconds from now. See you there.
Wink News, now back with breaking news.
Senate Democrats continuing their all-night marathon session in hopes to derail President Trump's pick for Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. Here's a live look at what's happening right now on the Senate floor. This one is hard to hear. Lee County deputies say that a man raped a woman and bit her, and he did it to mark the victim as his property. On camera, check this out. You can see a man going into a car, rummaging around, and then he ends up leaving here with a handful of stuff. There's a closer look at him getting out of the car. This was early on Thursday morning on Superior Street in Fort Myers. A boy with Down syndrome goes from being on the sidelines to leading his high school basketball team during a big game. Sitch Taylor usually helps the Eustis High School boys JV basketball team courtside as a student coach. But for the final game of the season, Sidge was on court and he was an all-star, and his parents say this is a night that none of them will ever forget. Those coupons can also help if you have insurance, but a high deductible. We should also point out here that a lot of pharmacies have very low-cost generics on several prescriptions, sometimes even lower than your insurance copay. So always ask, can I get a better deal? We wanted to talk with Walmart about their cash pricing and the owner of the scalp cream John Munn uses, which has been sold again. But we didn't get a response to our questions. A car salesman in Florida made a Facebook ad for a used car, laying out some of the problems with the vehicle, and surprise, surprise, it sold. Now, because of that viral ad, the dealership wants the car back. The man accused of brutally killing a Collier County inmate while sharing a cell may be sentenced to death. And a warning, you might find these images a bit disturbing. Sean Rogers is accused of murdering Ricky Martin in 2012. It is time to see what's happening now on the Wink News community calendar. Today, you can preview Bonita Springs High School and get some more information on Lee County's newest school. The first incoming freshmen are encouraged to take the virtual tour since they'll be able to vote on the school colors and the mascot. We're following some breaking news right now just coming into the Wink newsroom. Let's take a look. It's downtown Fort Myers. Firefighters are responding to a structure fire call. This is at Colusa Harbor, we're hearing. That's a retirement committee on First Street. Right now, we're hearing that the details are fairly limited. Supposedly, though, everyone is safe. That's a live look. You can see the emergency crews there. Wink News is also there. We're going to have much more information as we get it. But again, a fire downtown at the Colusa Harbor Retirement Community. Much more coming up in just a few minutes.
Now the Wink News flash stories that are new right now off the Wink wires.
A Florida Panhandle teenager was injured when a train hit her as she and a friend were taking pictures near the tracks. Pensacola police say that the 18-year-old was posing near the tracks so that a friend could get a picture of her with the oncoming train in the background. But that train ended up striking the teenager and dragging her for several feet. Officials say the train was going about 40 miles per hour. She was being treated at a local hospital. And thank you so much for joining us at Wink News this morning.
Our switch to WXCW is happening right now. We'll see you there from 7 to 10.
This trend is exploding here in Southwest Florida, and it's making retirement much easier for some. But caution needs to come with the extra cash. This relatively new option for homeowners has us asking, where do we grow from here?
And of course, we do have free beer, but we have a tip jar here.
For retired tavern owner Joan Tribulus, retirement really wasn't an option.
I tried it for about 2 years, and all I did was spend money.
So she thought out of the box and signed up as one of Cape Coral's first Airbnb hosts. Joan offered each of her extra 2 bedrooms with 1 shared bathroom for around $50 a night. She wasn't expecting much given there was no pool or waterfront, but was overwhelmed by the response.
In season, I don't have a room for rent.
For several years now, Joan's been enjoying the extra money and company.
As of today, for this year, my income has been over $9,000 on Airbnb.
And that's up to September, so that's pretty incredible. So you're going to have a great year.
I'm going to have a great year, yes.
It makes it more personal.
Airbnb renters like Marla enjoy Joan's breakfasts and company, as well as her local advice on things to do and places to go.
I am supporting Joan here personally. Who am I supporting when I check into the Holiday Inn? Corporate.
But just like corporate hotels, people renting on Airbnb are required to pay taxes on what they bring in, just like everybody else. But not everybody, like Joan, knows the rules.
You have to pay your income tax on it. You also have to pay the hotel tax, the bed tax, and then you have a 6% sales tax.
Anyone renting out a room or home for less than 6 months should be paying the tourist development tax. We talked with several Southwest Florida communities. They say they're trying to monitor sites like Airbnb to see who's using it. If they find out that person isn't paying their taxes, a letter goes out to educate them. Over the last 4 years alone, Lee County has sent out more than 5,000 letters.
Do you ever feel unsafe or unwelcome in your own home?
Usually, there is a reference on Airbnb for most of the people that come to your home. And if you don't want the booking, you do not have to accept it. You do not give any of your personal information.
This is a great opportunity.
An opportunity that's rewarding financially and personally.
So they come as strangers and leave as friends.
Yes, exactly. And we've shared our stories and our drinks, and most of the people do speak English, okay? And if they don't, we still manage because I just bring out the bottle and make them a drink.
Florida hospitality, I love that.
Right.
Airbnb has a $1 million policy to protect homeowners who book through their site. But they say it does not replace your homeowner's insurance. In fact, it may be a really good idea to increase your own coverage if you decide to rent out your home or rooms. And another important note here, you may want to check with your homeowners association or your local government to make sure that you can rent your home out short term. Jennifer Stacy, Wink News Now.